The underdogs of the galaxy. The vastness of space stretched out before the small human vessel, a canvas of infinite darkness punctuated by distant stars. The ship, barely larger than an old Earth freighter, moved steadily through the void, its engines humming with a quiet determination that belied its modest appearance. In the grand theater of the cosmos, humanity was nothing but a footnote, a species that had only recently learned to break free from the gravitational pull of their home planet. Captain Alina Reyes stood on the bridge of the SSV Defiant, her eyes fixed on the holographic display that showed the vessel's trajectory through this unexplored region of space. The ship wasn't impressive by galactic standards. Its hull was patched in places, showing signs of hasty repairs, and its weapons systems were considered primitive at best. But what the Defiant lacked in appearance, it made up for in the spirit of its crew. Picking up signals from a Zeraxian patrol, Lieutenant Wei announced, his fingers dancing across the console. 5 ships, heavy cruiser class. They've spotted us. Elena nodded, unsurprised. The Zeraxians controlled this sector, one of many powerful alien empires that dominated the galaxy. To them, humans were nothing but upstart primates, barely worth acknowledging except as a source of amusement or cheap labor. Open communications, Alina ordered, straightening her uniform. She knew what was coming. She'd experienced it before. The mockery, the condescension, the thinly veiled threats. It was the same everywhere humans ventured in the galaxy. The holographic display flickered, and the face of a Zeraxian commander appeared. Reptilian features arranged in what Alina had come to recognize as a sneer. The translator kicked in as the alien began to speak. Human vessel, the commander growled, the translation flattening the complex harmonics of the Zeraxian language. You have entered Zeraxian space without authorization. Identify yourself immediately. This is Captain Alina Reyes of the SSV Defiant, Earth Exploration Fleet. Alina replied, her voice calm and steady. We're on a peaceful mission of exploration and... The Zeraxian's laughter cut her off, a harsh, grating sound that filled the bridge. Behind him, other Zeraxians could be seen, their faces contorted in similar expressions of amusement. Earth Exploration Fleet, the commander repeated, mockery dripping from every word. Is that what you call that collection of debris you humans fly? Your ship looks like it would fall apart in a solar wind. Elena felt her crew tense around her. This wasn't the first time they'd heard such mockery. Throughout the galaxy, human vessels were considered jokes. Primitive, fragile things piloted by a species too young and too weak to be taken seriously. Our vessel is sturdy enough for our needs, Commander, Elena replied diplomatically. We're simply passing through on our way to the Arcturus sector. The Arcturus sector. Another burst of laughter. Little human, that sector is under Halconian control. If you think we're dismissive, wait until you meet them. They use human ships for target practice. Elena maintained her composure. The Zeraxians, like most dominant species in the galaxy, believed their technological superiority gave them the right to ridicule and dismiss others. They had watched Earth's progress with mild interest, always concluding that humans would never be a significant force in the galaxy. Nevertheless, we intend to continue our journey, Alina said. We claim the right of peaceful passage under the Galactic Concordat. The commander's amusement faded slightly. The Concordat applies to recognized species with proper interstellar capabilities. Your kind barely qualifies. His eyes narrowed. But very well. We will allow you to pass, for our amusement. It's been some time since we've had the opportunity to watch a human ship struggle against the realities of deep space. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the bridge in silence. Lieutenant Wei looked up at Alina, his expression a mixture of anger and resignation. Same old story, he muttered. They think we're a joke. Alina's lips curved into a slight smile. Let them think what they want, Lieutenant. It's worked to our advantage so far. The Defiant continued on its course, the massive Zeraxian vessels keeping pace at a distance. Alina knew they were watching, waiting for the human ship to malfunction or call for help. It was a common practice among the dominant species to follow human vessels and document their failures for entertainment. 3 days later, the Defiant approached the border of Halconian space. As predicted, a patrol of Halconian warships was waiting, their sleek, predatory forms a stark contrast to the bulkier Xeraxian vessels. "They're hailing us, Captain," Communications Officer Puddle reported. "And they're broadcasting on open channels. They want everyone to hear this." Elena sighed. "Put them through." The holographic display activated again, revealing the pale, almost translucent features of a Halconian commander. Unlike the reptilian Xeraxians, the Halconians resembled something between insects and crystalline structures, their bodies seemingly fragile yet containing immense strength. "Human vessel." The Halconian's voice was melodic, almost beautiful, which made the contempt in it even more striking. "You approach Halconian space in that." The alien paused, as if struggling to find words. "We were informed by our Xeraxian colleagues that you would be arriving. They suggested we might enjoy the spectacle." Behind the commander, other Halconians were gathered, their compound eyes reflecting the light in patterns that signified amusement in their culture. The mockery was becoming a spectator event. "We request peaceful passage under the Galactic Concordat." Elena repeated the same words she had used with the Xeraxians. "Amusing," the Halconian replied. "Very well. We will allow it. In fact, we will escort you. It's rare to see human ships venture this far. Most of your kind are wise enough to stay close to your home world." The transmission ended, and Elena turned to her crew. "Status report. All systems functioning normally, Captain," Chief Engineer Rodriguez reported from his station. "The modifications are ready whenever you give the word." Elena nodded, her expression giving nothing away. "Not yet. Let them enjoy their superiority a little longer." As the Defiant journeyed deeper into Halconian space, word spread quickly through the local systems. A human ship, an actual human ship, was passing through, and it hadn't fallen apart yet. It was becoming something of an attraction. Smaller vessels began to appear, keeping their distance but clearly observing the human ship with curiosity and derision. On the 6th day, Elena received a transmission from an unexpected source. A small mining outpost on the edge of the Halconian territory. The message was brief but clear. "We need help. Please." The transmission came from Cerberus II, a mineral-rich moon inhabited by a mixture of species, none of them particularly powerful or respected in the galactic hierarchy. They were laborers, miners, outcasts, the forgotten, and the exploited. Elena ordered a course change toward the moon, knowing it would provoke a response from their Halconian escorts. It didn't take long. "Human vessel," the Halconian commander's voice was sharp with irritation. "You are deviating from your declared course. Explain yourself." "We've received a distress call from Cerberus II," Elena replied calmly. "We're responding as any vessel would." There was a pause, followed by laughter, cold and dismissive. "A distress call. And you think your ship can provide assistance? This is most entertaining. Very well, proceed. We are eager to see how humans attempt a rescue operation." The Halconians followed at a distance, now joined by even more observer vessels. Word had spread further, and the humorous spectacle of a human ship attempting a rescue mission was too good to miss. As the Defiant approached Cerberus II, Elena gathered her senior officers. "It's time," she said simply. Rodriguez nodded and entered a series of commands into his console. Throughout the ship, hidden systems began to activate, systems that had been carefully concealed from alien scans, systems that no one in the galaxy believed humans capable of developing. The Defiant's outer hull, previously appearing patched and worn, began to shimmer as adaptive camouflage deactivated. Beneath the facade was a sleek, advanced vessel unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Weapon ports opened silently, revealing technology that was decidedly not primitive. "Open a channel to our Halconian friends," Alina ordered. "Let's see if they're still laughing." Turning the tides. The bridge of the Defiant hummed with a new energy as systems previously hidden from alien scans came online. The transformation was remarkable. Panels that had appeared rusted now gleamed with an otherworldly sheen, and displays that had seemed primitive flickered with complex data streams that would have impressed even the most advanced species. Lieutenant Wei couldn't suppress a smile as he watched the reactions of their Halconian escorts through the ship's sensors. The alien vessels had drawn to an abrupt halt, their formations losing cohesion as confusion spread through their ranks. "They're scanning us, Captain," Wei reported. "Multiple bands, full spectrum. They're trying to figure out what's happening." Alina nodded, standing calm at the center of the bridge. "Let them scan. It's time they saw what they've been laughing at." The Defiant had been humanity's secret, a vessel disguised as a typical human exploration ship, but hiding technology that humanity had developed in isolation, away from the prying eyes of galactic powers who had written them off as inconsequential. For decades, humans had endured the mockery and dismissal of the advanced species, using it as cover to develop in ways no one expected. "The Halconians are hailing us," Pidal announced, her voice tight with anticipation. "On screen," Alina ordered. The Halconian commander appeared once more, but the arrogance was gone from his crystalline features, replaced by something that looked remarkably like fear. "Human vessel," he began, his melodic voice now strained. Your ship has changed. Explain immediately." Alina allowed herself a small smile. "There's nothing to explain, Commander. This is the true face of the SSV Defiant. We simply allowed you to see what you expected to see." "Impossible," the Halconian sputtered. "Human technology is primitive. Your species has only achieved interstellar travel within the last century. You cannot possess adaptive camouflage of this sophistication or weapons of this caliber." "And yet here we are," Alina replied. "Now, if you'll excuse us, we have a distress call to answer." The Defiant moved forward, its engines, now operating at full capacity, propelling it toward Cyberus II with a speed that left the Halconian vessels scrambling to keep pace. On the moon's surface, a mining colony was under attack by pirate forces, mercenaries who preyed on the weak and unprotected, knowing that the dominant empires cared little for the fate of the laborers who toiled in these remote outposts. "Pirates have deployed ground forces," Wei reported as they entered orbit. "Standard tactics. They are targeting the resource processing centers and storage facilities." Helena nodded. "Deploy our drones and prepare landing parties. Let's show them what humans can really do." From the underside of the Defiant, dozens of small, sleek drones launched in perfect formation, another technology that the galactic powers believed beyond human capabilities. The drones descended toward the surface, moving with a coordination and precision that spoke of advanced AI systems. The Halconian escorts, now joined by several Xeraxian vessels that had hurried to witness this unexpected development, maintained their distance, weapons powered but not targeted. They were watching, assessing, recalculating everything they thought they knew about humanity. On the surface, the pirate forces, a mixture of various species united only by their greed, looked up in confusion as the human drones formed a protective barrier around the mining colony. When they attempted to fire on the unexpected interference, they discovered another surprise: advanced shield technology that absorbed and dissipated their attacks. "The pirates are retreating to their ships," Wei announced with satisfaction. "Our ground teams report the colonists are secure." Elena acknowledged the report with a nod. Now for Phase 2. She opened a channel that broadcast not just to the nearby alien vessels, but across all common frequencies used in this sector of the galaxy. Her message was clear and deliberately provocative. "This is Captain Elena Reyes of the Earth Defense Force. We have secured the Cyberus III colony and are now placing it under human protection. Any hostile action against this moon or its inhabitants will be met with immediate response." The reaction was immediate and predictable. Both the Halconians and Ziraxians sent furious transmissions, demanding explanations and issuing threats. How dare a human vessel declare protection over any territory, even one as insignificant as a mining moon? The very notion was absurd, an insult to the established order. Elena ignored the bluster. Lieutenant Wei, deploy the beacons. From the Defiant, small satellites launched into orbit around Sybaris II. Each contained a quantum communication array, yet another technology that humans had developed in secret, allowing instantaneous communication across vast distances without relying on the established galactic networks. Within hours, the unthinkable happened. More human ships began to appear, not the ramshackle vessels that the galaxy had come to expect, but sleek, advanced craft that rivaled anything produced by the dominant empires. They emerged from hyperspace with precision, taking up defensive positions around the moon. "Captain," Patel called out, her voice excited. "We're receiving transmissions from multiple systems in the sector. The news is spreading on dozens of worlds and outposts throughout the region, places where the lesser species toiled under the dominance of the galactic powers. Beings were watching, talking, hoping. The sight of human vessels standing against the mighty Halconians and Ziraxians was spreading like wildfire across subspace channels. The Ziraxians are mobilizing their main battle fleet," Wei reported, his expression growing serious. "They're not taking this well." Elena had expected this. For too long, the dominant species had maintained their position through intimidation and displays of overwhelming force. They couldn't allow a primitive species like humans to challenge the established order. "All ships, defensive formation," she ordered. "Activate the Horizon Protocol." Throughout human space, hidden shipyards and research stations that had operated in secrecy for decades began to activate. The veil was being lifted, revealing the truth that humanity had concealed behind a facade of technological backwardness. They had been preparing, building, developing in ways that the arrogant empires never suspected. 3 days later, the Ziraxian battle fleet arrived, an impressive armada of warships designed to crush any resistance and remind the galaxy of their supremacy. As they approached Sybaris II, their commander opened a channel to the human vessels. "This display of defiance ends now," the Ziraxian admiral declared, his reptilian features contorted with rage. "You will withdraw immediately or face annihilation. Your primitive deception may have surprised us, but it changes nothing. You are still humans, weak, fragile, and hopelessly outmatched." Elena exchanged glances with her officers before responding. "Admiral, I suggest you scan the space behind your fleet." Confusion flickered across the Ziraxian's face, followed by alarm as reports came in from his sensors. Behind the Ziraxian fleet, hundreds of human vessels had emerged from hyperspace, surrounding the would-be attackers in a perfect encirclement. Each ship bristled with weapons that the Ziraxians had never seen before, technology developed by humans who had used the galaxy's dismissal as cover for their true advancements. "This is impossible," the Ziraxian admiral whispered, his confidence crumbling. "No, Admiral," Elena replied calmly. "This is humanity. While you were laughing at our ships, we were studying, building, preparing. We played the role you expected of us because it served our purposes." Throughout the galaxy, the news spread with astonishing speed. The supposedly primitive humans had revealed themselves to be anything but primitive. Their ships, once a source of mockery, now represented a new power in the galactic order. On countless worlds, the oppressed and overlooked species watched with growing hope. The Nelvarans, the Queel, the Tasik, species that had been deemed too weak or insignificant to have a voice in galactic affairs, began to reach out to the humans, sensing potential allies who understood what it meant to be underestimated. The standoff at Sybaris II ended not with a battle but with a retreat. The Ziraxian fleet, faced with technology they didn't understand and numbers they hadn't anticipated, withdrew to regroup and reassess. The Halconians, watching from a distance, did the same. The galaxy's power structure, stable for millennia, had been shaken to its core. As Elena stood on the bridge of the Defiant, watching the Xeraxian ships retreat, Lieutenant Wei approached her with a datapad. "We're receiving messages from 17 systems, Captain," he reported. "Smaller species reaching out for alliances, asking for protection against the empires, and there are reports of uprisings on at least 5 worlds." Elena took the pad, scanning the information with a thoughtful expression. "Send word to Earth Command. Phase 1 is complete. The galaxy knows we're here now. Really here." The mockery had stopped. The laughter had died. In its place was a new reality, one where humanity would no longer be dismissed as a cosmic joke. They had endured the ridicule, used it as a shield while they prepared, and now they had revealed their true strength. As the Defiant maintained its position above Cerberus II, Elena looked out at the stars that stretched endlessly before them. For centuries, those stars had been dominated by empires that believed might made right, that technological superiority justified oppression. But the galaxy was changing. "They laughed at our ships," Elena murmured, more to herself than to her crew. "Now we'll see who has the last laugh." The struggle was just beginning. The dominant species wouldn't surrender their power easily. But humanity had played the long game, patiently enduring scorn while preparing for this moment. And they weren't alone anymore. Throughout the galaxy, the overlooked and the underestimated were watching, inspired by the humans who had turned mockery into an advantage.